Have you ever caught yourself being your own worst critic? Struggling with self love and acceptance is something that most of us face at some point. Today, we are diving into the science of self love and acceptance. Let's explore how neuroscience can help us break free from self criticism and embrace a more compassionate relationship with ourselves. Now, first, let's try to understand the neuroscience of self criticism. Let's start with why we are so critical of ourselves in the first place. You see, our brains have something called a negativity bias. This means that we are wired to focus on threats and flaws, an evolutionary advantage that keep our ancestors alive. But today, this bias often leads to constant self criticism. The amygdala, often called our brain's fear center, reacts strongly to negative stimuli. This can make us dwell on our mistakes and our imperfections. Over time, chronic self criticism takes a toll, increasing anxiety, depression, and low self esteem. But here's the good news: we can rewire our brains for positivity and self compassion. To understand how we can cultivate self compassion, let's try to understand what do we mean by self compassion. Self compassion is the antidote to self criticism. It's about treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially when you make mistakes. Think of how you would comfort a close friend. Now imagine doing that for yourself. Mindfulness plays a big role here. Observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment helps you reduce self criticism and develop a more compassionate inner voice. For example, a person might be practicing mindfulness meditation and he or she can use questions to ask oneself, such as, what did I do well today? Or, how can I be kinder to myself? You can try these practical exercises like guided meditations, journaling, or even self soothing techniques like deep breathing. These simple steps can work wonders for your mental well being. Now comes the important part: the challenging negative self talk. Negative self talk is like an unwelcome guest in our mind. To challenge it, you first need to identify it. Pay attention to harsh judgments, comparisons, and perfectionism. You might say, I'm not good enough, or I always mess up. These kind of negative thought patterns and thought processes really create a negative bubble that hurts your spirituality in the end. Once you spot your inner critic, challenge it. Ask yourself, is this thought really true? Or consider alternate perspectives and reframe negative experiences. You might say, I am capable, I am worthy, I am enough. You see, this kind of rephrasing and rewiring goes a long way in helping your own positive spirituality. Finally, you have to replace such negativity with positive affirmations, like I mentioned recently, and promote self love and acceptance. This kind of replacement with positive affirmations that promote self love and acceptance will go a long way in enhancing your spiritual process. This simple practice can help rewire your brain for positivity. Now let's understand how you can build self acceptance. Self acceptance starts with embracing your imperfections. Remember, nobody is perfect, and that's okay. In fact, the thought process of perfection is an illusion, and it's completely separate and completely delusioned when it comes to the process of understanding truth. What is perfect? If you ask yourself this question, you might realize that the thought process of perfectionism is a complete disillusion, and it can lead to a rabbit hole which can lead to nowhere. Recognizing this universal truth is a key step towards accepting yourself as you are. Every individual, when it comes to humans, is different. That is how the grand design of scheme works. Everyone is different. Remember, no two human beings have the same fingerprint. Focus on your strengths. Take time to acknowledge and celebrate your positive qualities and accomplishments. It's not about ignoring your flaws, but balancing the scales. And don't forget self care, whether it's nourishing your body, mind, or spirit. Taking care of yourself is a powerful way to promote self love and acceptance. Now, here are some actionable steps that you can take for a more loving relationship with yourself, or rather, to develop a more loving relationship with yourself. Before we wrap up, here are the actionable steps that you might consider. Step number one. Mind you, before we begin, these steps are extremely powerful, so you need to take these steps into consideration with that same approach. Step number one is set realistic goals. Avoid setting yourself up for disappointment by establishing achievable goals. Step number two is practice gratitude. Make a habit of acknowledging the good things in your life and appreciating your own strengths. And the third and the most important step is to seek professional help if you require so. If self compassion feels challenging, therapy or coaching can provide valuable support. Remember, self love is a journey, not a destination. Be patient with yourself and celebrate every small step forward. Thank you for joining me today. Remember, you are worthy of love, kindness, and acceptance, especially from yourself. If you find this video helpful, give it a like, share it with someone who might need it, and don't forget to subscribe for more content on personal growth and well being. See you next time, my friend. Stay blessed.